Hi guys, it's Krishanti with Krishanti.com talking about psychic development and spiritual and personal growth. And something that I've been thinking about and trying to connect with and understand and deepen into a little bit more is the concept of your higher self. And if you're on the spiritual path and you've been working on yourself and you're growing and meditating and practicing and learning, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody says to connect with your higher self for higher guidance. And even in the realm of like spirit guides, it's like, well, you can connect with your spirit guides or you can connect with your higher self. And I get what my spirit is. Your higher self is like your spirit, by the way, your spirit soul, that part of you that lives on and that knows all about life in the other realms beyond this like realm of our human form and everything, earth realm. However, I'm a very visual person. That's why it was so easy for me to become clairvoyant, because I just see things in my mind's eye. And so it's hard for me to picture like, okay, I know I have this higher self, that, quiet, calm, still voice and everything, but who is it? And I had a reading once, years and years ago, at this wonderful place in Colorado by these clairvoyant students. That reading actually did shift my energy and help me open up to get onto this path of doing this work myself. And they had said that I was, my soul was like an old, like this Indian sage. Felt very male to me. That had seen it all and could do everything. And, like I pictured someone that can, just sit there and like levitate or like disappear. They talk about the masters that are able to disappear and then be somewhere else and do these amazing things. So I kind of got that, but I never was able to, as this personality, this incarnation that I am right now, to connect in and see myself as this male Indian spiritual master. In fact, I don't think of myself as a master. I know I have a great deal of knowledge, but I also feel like to consider yourself at a certain level involves a certain amount of ego that's not, it's just not me. It just doesn't feel right, doesn't feel good. And so what has worked in the past, I'm still getting used to that idea, but what has worked in the past for me is associating with archetypal images to help empower me to move forward and move ahead. And I thought that might be helpful for you if you are having that same kind of crisis or difficulty in figuring out just who your higher self is, perhaps what you can visualize them as being or what they feel like. I mean, it is a part of you, and it's easy to think like, oh, it's this higher, wiser part, but I don't know. I hope you understand what I'm trying to get, like to help it click. I am more and more just bringing more like light into my consciousness as I meditate with and channel the beings that I work with every day. I do bring more light into my ethereal and astral and bodies and aura and all of that. But what I wanted to talk about, a tip that might be helpful for you as well, is, like I was saying before, associating with an archetype. So if you're feeling run down, or you're feeling powerless, or you're feeling like you don't know who your higher self is or how to connect, if you can think about something or someone that inspires you at a very beautiful high level, you can imagine that archetype is representative of your higher self, and then you can embody the characteristics of that being or that energy and that archetypal image and force, and that will infuse you with a feeling of power and strength and help you move ahead. It's very similar to the concept of like superheroes wearing their outfit. Like Spider-Man has his thing, Batman has his thing, Wonder Woman has her like really cool outfit. Then that helps them to transform into the strong, like powerful version of themselves. So recently, Lord of the Rings was on Netflix, and I have a 6-year-old and a busy life, so I watched it in little parts. And they got to the part with that beautiful fairy, I think it was Kate Blanchett, Galadriel, and she had so much light like emanating from her body. And I thought, oh, that's cool. Like that's what I feel like almost with all that light coming in from the other realms. And I'm connecting so much more with light that, and you might end up being like doing this too. By all means, try it out, where you connect with so much light that you begin to not have to need the archetype. But here's a story about a time, I put it in one of the workshops I have on my website, krishanti.com. But there was a time when associating with an archetype really helped me get out of a bad situation, gave me the strength and power to do what I thought was the impossible, which was to leave a very negative job environment. And one day I was talking to my friend who at the time, she's changed her name now, but she was at the time the White Witch. And that's what she called herself, and it worked. It was beautiful. And we were talking about it, and I was wearing all brown that day, and I was like, oh, I'm wearing all brown. I guess I'm the brown witch, which just felt like that color felt kind of drab. And she said, well, no, brown is golden, so you can be the golden witch. And then I thought, well, I could be the golden princess, which I like because I love fairy tales, and it's just like a benevolent, golden princess. And I would meditate and imagine as this like really, like standing up straight, good posture, very serene and strong, golden princess, not frivolous, but taking that brown, beautiful earth energy and then channeling in that golden energy, and then the symbolic kind of presence of that kind of regality. And it shifted because I would do these clairvoyant meditations before I would do my work, and it shifted it so much that I actually did end up leaving like pretty soon right after it. Things happened almost beyond my control, but like through me, that forced me to get out of there like immediately. Really, it happened more quickly than I was probably ready for, but sometimes things work that way, and you have to just go with it when the time is right. You just ride those waves of energy and you go with the flow. But that associating with that archetype, I think, played a very key role in pivoting me to get out of there. And if you're looking to connect with your higher self, think about what powerful beings and presences that you would like to associate with, knowing full well too that you have every right and the ability to change it out whenever you feel like it. You don't have to stick to the same thing. You're imagining it, for Pete's sake, so you can imagine it to be something else and gather the strength and power. Because oftentimes what I've noticed, which is very difficult to deal with when you're on the path, is people that don't necessarily want you to be, and they don't want to kind of talk about it. They don't want you to have this. I don't know how else to explain it. It almost feels like you do kind of have to be careful. Not that you have to be fearful or frightened, but I don't know how to explain it. And maybe that's just I'm just kind of stuck on a thought now that maybe that's just my process and my evolution and not everybody else's. But then again, I'm sure you all know that there are people that like don't want you to be strong and don't want you to get out of the situation you're in and want everything to be the same. That was covered a lot in my clairvoyant training, and when I worked with my teacher Deborah Katz about learning about all these practices and techniques, which I've spun into courses on my website and stuff too, about how when you are shifting your energy, there are other people's energy in your environment that impact you, and that can keep you the same because they don't want you to become different or to evolve or transform. And that's where bringing in this archetypal energy will be very helpful to get you through. So that about sums that up for now. Before I close, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, in the comments below, tell me what you think or what archetypes you'd like to associate with, or how you perceive your higher self, because I really do want to know. And finally, let me know in the comments as well if there are questions you have and things that you think I might make a video about that would answer them, because I do these every week, and sometimes I feel like always, of course, I feel like it's better to talk about what you want to talk about if I can. So I'm open to that. And that sums it up for today. For info on these workshops and things I've talked about, they're all on krishanti.com. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.